So, my hope is that we get a resolution on where SpaceCom is going to be headquartered. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Scott.
Great. Thank you. First, I want to thank both of you for being here. Congratulations on your nominations. Thank you for your service, and I want to thank your families for what they do. I'm sure you guys have moved a lot. Hopefully, you've spent a lot of time in Florida. Communist China, Russia, North Korea, Iran, and other terrorist groups want to harm the United States at any cost in any way they can. They all possess ballistic missiles and will do anything they can to harm us and our national interest here in the homeland and in space. I know you're both focused on deterring these threats, and if they ever try to attack us here at home, to defeat whatever they throw our way. I look forward to hearing about how you're going to continue to make sure we stay safe. Jonggi, as our strategic focus shifts from the threat of terrorists to threats from adversarial nations like Communist China and Russia, NORTHCOM will still have to defend the homeland from both. I would characterize our reaction to the Chinese spy balloon incident as pretty bad. Terrible. What have you learned from that, and how will you handle the next spy balloon when you are the commander?
Senator, I was not personally familiar with all the factors that went into the first decision, but what I can tell you that if confirmed, air sovereignty will be the cornerstone of the NORAD and NORTHCOM mission. And if confirmed, I will aggressively execute all the authorities and the ROE associated with maintaining air sovereignty of the U.S. That goes to early detection, making decisions that within my authority, and then quickly passing all of the valuable information and options to my senior leadership if it's something that's beyond my authority.
Thank you. From a strategic and resourcing standpoint, how is defending the homeland from terrorists and defending it from adversarial nations different?
Sir, Senator, they certainly overlap. Deterring from terrorist threats that are originating overseas, other combatant commands like the one that I'm presently proud to work in, Central Command, in cooperation with Southern Special Operations Command, are doing a lot of work to keep the terrorists as an away game. But as we start to develop indications that they could be working towards the U.S., then it transitions to a strong partnership from NORAD and NORTHCOM with the law enforcement agencies that would be responsible, along with the Department of Homeland Security, to building that barrier from them actually entering the United States.
Thank you. What additional authorities or resources do you anticipate needing to defend our homeland?
Senator, at this time, I do not know of any, but I pledge to the committee that if I'm confirmed, within 90 days, I'll have completed a full assessment of all the people, the mission, and the resourcing, to include authorities associated with NORAD and NORTHCOM, and I will make it very clear in that assessment if there are any authorities that I need.
Thank you. In October 2018, Department of Defense deployed 5,200 troops to the southern border in response to migrant caravans. Currently, the Biden administration has authorized a maximum of 2,500 troops in the southwest border support operations. The past year has continued to witness a surge in migrant encounters and has made there's about 1.5 million getaways, some of them possibly terrorists. Would you first off agree there's a crisis at the border? You assess that there is a drug smuggling emergency at the southern border. What role do you anticipate NORTHCOM playing in addressing this emergency?
Senator, I think border security is national security, and that would be the #1 priority for me if I'm confirmed as the commander of NORAD and NORTHCOM. As for the drugs and the efforts of the transnational criminal organizations, that is a problem that's acute, it's significant, and it's extremely serious, and it falls into the same responsibility that I just mentioned.
Thank you. Joe Whiting, congratulations. You have a base named after you in Florida already. You've done really well. Do you believe that delaying the Space Command headquarters decision has affected readiness?
Senator, that decision needs to be made so that we can decide where that's going to go and place it. I think till now that headquarters has been maturing from what I've seen, but a decision is needed.
So what are the biggest challenges space threats in space or the next to address them? And thinking about what happens when they start, whatever adversary starts shooting up satellites and we get all the debris going there, and how it's going to impact our communication?
Senator, the answer to those two questions are related. The number one thing we need to continue to build out is our space domain awareness capability. We have the best in the world, and the world looks to us, but we prove that to the threat, which we do happen to back that out is
Kirk has stated that our